You think you know what it takes to become wealthy. You picture the mansions, the cars, the vacations, the freedom. That's the dream everyone sees. But what if I told you that almost everything you've been told about money, jobs, savings, retirement, is a carefully constructed illusion designed to keep you running in place? And here's the part you'll hate. Most people will never break free from it. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll uncover the one truth that every wealthy person understands, whether they admit it or not. Once you see it, you'll never look at money, at jobs, or even at time the same way again. Let's begin where most people live. They trade time for money. A paycheck every month. 40 hours a week. Week after week. Year after year. Their entire income is chained to their hours. Work more, earn more. Stop working and it all collapses. They cling to the illusion of safety. They save tiny fractions, hoping that in 30 or 40 years they can finally breathe. They cut coupons. They celebrate shaving $5 off a grocery bill while ignoring the massive leak in the system they're trapped in. They spend their lives protecting pennies instead of creating power. Ask around, you'll see it everywhere. Work hard, save more, retire at 65. That's the script. But let me tell you something uncomfortable. That script isn't freedom. It's slavery in disguise. You can run faster, climb higher, save harder, but you're still strapped to the same treadmill. And the moment you stop moving, the treadmill throws you off. Now here's where the story twists. Because the wealthy, the ones who achieve freedom in this life, they don't play this game at all. They don't rely on a paycheck. They don't measure wealth by how much they can save, but by how much they can create. They ask a different question. Not, how much can I earn this month, but what can I build that will keep earning for years? That's the razor-sharp dividing line. Let me tease you with a few riddles. Why do some people get rich in their 30s, while others work until 65 and never escape? Why does a musician write one song and live off royalties for life, while another has to perform night after night just to survive? Why does an entrepreneur sell a product online and earn money in their sleep, while another employee still drags themselves out of bed at 6 a.m. every morning? Do you feel the tension yet? Do you see the pattern starting to form? Most people never notice. They're lulled to sleep by the same story. Go to school, get a good job, save diligently, retire later. But the wealthy, they flip the story on its head. Instead of renting their time, they own the machine. Businesses, assets, intellectual property, real estate, platforms, engines that scale beyond them. Here it is, whispered quietly in the back rooms of wealth. The rich stop trading time for money. They build systems that separate income from hours. Let's make it real. There was once a janitor in Vermont. He worked his whole life, quietly, diligently. He never earned more than a modest salary. He skipped vacations, drove an old car, lived in the same tiny house. When he died, people were stunned. He had quietly saved a few $1 million in investments. Impressive? Yes, but tragic too. He gave 70 years of his life to arrive at wealth at the very end. Wealth he barely got to enjoy. That's the treadmill. A lifetime traded for scraps of freedom. Now contrast that with a young programmer. He spent a single year coding a simple app. Sleepless nights, endless debugging, failure after failure. But when it finally launched, it spread like wildfire. Within 2 years, millions of downloads. Ad revenue, licensing deals, partnerships. The work of 1 year exploded into millions in wealth that multiplied without him lifting a finger. That's leverage. That's a system. Both men made it. But one surrendered his entire lifetime. The other built once and reaped forever. Think about the music industry. A session guitarist plays in bars every night, fingers bleeding, chasing one paycheck at a time. Linear income. But a songwriter pens one hit. And every stream, every radio play, every commercial licensing deal pays them again and again. They can stop working today and still get paid tomorrow. Scalable income. Or picture the doctor. Years of training, endless hours, every patient seen equals dollars earned. Noble, yes, but fragile. The moment they stop practicing, the income disappears. Now compare that to the founder of a biotech company who creates one diagnostic kit. Millions of units sold worldwide. Each sale multiplies without them personally lifting a scalpel. One is trapped. The other is free. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine two people standing at the start of a marathon. The first straps a treadmill to their back. No matter how fast they run, they're stuck in place. The second climbs onto a bicycle. Each push of the pedal carries them further, faster, and with less effort over time. That's the difference. Jobs, savings, retirement, the treadmill. Systems, leverage, creation, the bicycle. And here's the twist of the knife. What most people think is safe, the job, the pension, the retirement account, is actually the riskiest bet of all. Layoffs wipe out decades in a single meeting. Inflation gnaws at savings. A health crisis drains it all overnight. Meanwhile, what looks risky, starting a business, creating something that scales, investing in assets, turns out safer in the long run. Because once the system exists, it cannot be laid off. It cannot be inflated away. It cannot be erased by a single crisis. Let me give you more stories. Henry Ford versus the blacksmith. The blacksmith worked day and night, shoeing one horse at a time. Every dollar chained to his hands. Ford. He built an assembly line. Each car rolled off multiplied his effort. He scaled. The blacksmith sweated. Guess who ended up remembered? Jeff Bezos versus the bookstore clerk. The clerk sold one book at a time to one customer at a time. Bezos built a system that sold millions of books at once without him touching each transaction. One stayed an employee. The other became the wealthiest man in the world. Even the neighborhood baker versus the bakery chain. The local baker kneads dough at 4 a.m. every morning. The chain owner sets up systems, recipes, staff, franchises. One bakes bread. The other prints money. Do you feel it now? That creeping unease that maybe, just maybe, you've been lied to about how wealth really works? Do you feel the pull toward the truth you can't unsee? Here it is. The one thing wealthy people all share. They leverage systems instead of time. They don't play the slow game of selling hours for dollars. They play the fast game of creating something that earns while they sleep. That's the secret. That's the seduction. Now look at yourself. Are you clipping coupons, saving scraps, hoping for freedom in 40 years? Or are you daring to build something that could set you free in 5? Because wealth isn't about luck. It isn't about shaving pennies. It isn't even about working harder. It's about courage. It's about stepping off the treadmill and choosing the bicycle. It's about building systems that scale. That's what the wealthy do. That's why they're wealthy. And that's why the rest stay stuck.